the next session on the YouTube course that I'm doing on important questions on numbers. And the question you just saw is something that I just did on the previous uh, session that I had broadcasted. And a couple of good questions for you again to start with in this lesson. The first one is the one you see here now. And this question says, Mayank, Mirza, Little and Jaspal bought a motorbike for $60. So the reaction to that is that Mayank plus Mirza plus Little plus Jaspal bought a motorbike for $60. Mayank paid one half of the sum of the amounts paid by the other boys. Now, if you go algebraically on this, the reactions that will keep going will be Mayank is equal to half of Mirza plus Little plus Jaspal. Mirza paid one third of the sum of the amounts paid by the other boys. So Mirza is equal to one third the sum of Mayank plus Little plus Jaspal, and Little paid one fourth of the sum of the amounts paid by the other boys. So Little is one fourth of Mayank plus Mirza plus Jaspal. So technically you have four equations, four distinct equations. And you have four unknowns. And when the number of equations and number of unknowns are same, it's a solvable situation. So you can solve this through simultaneous solving of equations. But as you can see, this is going to get quite tedious if you're going to do quite tedious and very writing intensive. Very writing intensive. If you're going to do so much writing in this. So there's an alternate way to do this, and that is the direct reaction to the second, third, fourth statements. The starting point will remain same. Mayank plus Mirza plus Little plus Jaspal is equal to 60. But when you read this statement, that Mayank paid one half of the sum of the amounts paid by the other boys, your reaction should be Mayank, if he pays half what the other boys pay, Mirza plus Little plus Jaspal pay. This means that the $60 is going to get divided into two parts here and one part here. That means Mayank is paying $20 and Mirza, Little plus Jaspal are paying $40. So the moment you get Mayank as 20, you can fit in that here and then move to the next statement, which is similar and tells us that Mirza paid one third of the sum of the amounts paid by the other boys. So Mirza paid one third of the sum of the amount paid by the other boys. Gives you a reaction that Mirza, whatever Mirza paid, Mayank, Little and Jaspal paid 3 times that. So the $60 will have to get divided into 4 parts, 3 parts coming here three parts coming here and one part going there. If you're dividing 60 parts, $60 into four parts, one part will be 15 and three parts will be 45. And again, we don't do much with the 45, but the 15 definitely slots into our first equation, that Mirza is paying 15. And the third part of the question tells us that Little paid one fourth of the sum of the amounts paid by the other boys. Now, if Little is one fourth the total sum, this again gives you a reaction that I should split 60 into five parts. One part for Little and four parts for Mayank, Mirza and Jaspal combined. And if you are splitting 60 into 5 parts, 1 and 1 plus 4, each part would be 12, and hence Little's one part would be 12. And you get Little as 12 from here, and that itself gives you a value of the unknown Jaspal. That's the only unknown now in this equation. And since the left hand side has to add up to 60, the value of Jaspal will be 13. So that's the correct answer to this question. Right? And so we'll move on to one more question. But this time you can see, before we do this next question, you can see how much difference the logical reaction based solving of this question had versus the mathematical solving of this question. So ये question ऐसा question है जो mathematically solve हो जाता है. You could have solved it mathematically, but the amount of time you would have taken would have been so large that you would end up creating a very strong disadvantage to yourself by going that route. And hence, you should always think reactively. You should always have logical reactions replaced in your quantitative thinking, and you should try to develop that all the time, and try to automate your thinking in such a fashion that for most questions you can do things logically. Now, this is the next question for you, and this is a very interesting question because this question, the previous question, you had a mathematical solution. In this question, doing a mathematical solution for this will be almost impossible. So I want you to try this question first on your own, and then I will discuss the implication of this question with you. It's a brilliant question from CAT 2007, and it's got something which can be described as actually a very intelligent solution to it. So try this first. Right, so I hope you have had time to look at this, and it's obviously a difficult nut to crack, difficult question to do, but let me show you a very simple process to do this. The question says, a confused bank teller, let's first understand what the question is doing for us. A confused bank teller transposed the rupees and paise when he cashed a check for Shelja, giving a rupees instead of paise and paise instead of rupees. So what this bank teller is doing, for instance, a 12 rupee 18 paise check is converted to an 18 rupee 12 paise check, and he's giving rupees in terms of instead of paise and paise instead of rupees here, right? Now the question further says that after buying a toffee for 50 paise, Shelja noticed that she was left with exactly 3 times as much amount as the check. Right? Shelja noticed that she was left with exactly 3 times as much amount on the check. So what has happened now? Now if you start thinking algebraically here and you take the values as rupees and paise as AB point CD, converting to CD point AB, the mathematical writing of AB point CD as a number is 10A plus B plus C by 10 plus D by 100. Instead of that, you are getting CD point AB, so you are getting 10C plus D plus A by 10 plus B by 100. And from this amount, once you spend 50 paise, that means zero point 0.5 rupees or 5 by 10 rupees. So what will happen is you will have left over an amount of 10C plus D plus A minus 5 by 10 plus B by 100. This amount should be 3 times the original amount. But as you can see, this process is going to get really messy. It's already got messy and it's going to get messier still if you continue trying to solve it this way. So there's no point hitting your head against a brick wall in such situations, and hence the mathematical process has pretty much kind to like to be thrown out of the window in this question. So how do you do this question? See, the best part of this question is that you have options. The question is, which of the following is a valid statement about the check amount? Is the check amount above 13 and 14, 7 to 8, 22 to 23, 18 to 19, or 4 to 5? So the key here is to understand that this was the original amount of the check and this was the amount given. And after spending 50 paise from here, the amount left was 3 times the original amount. The amount left was 3 times the original amount. So one thing that should be evident to you here is that because after spending 50 paise from the amount you got, this is the check amount. This is the check amount. This is the got amount. And after spending 50 paise, this is the spent amount. This is not a variable, this is given. After spending that 50 paise, this is what you are left with. And the relationship, the 3 variables here, the check amount, the got amount, and the left amount. And the relationship between the check amount and the left amount can be accessed through two routes. You multiply the check amount by 3, you'll get the left amount, or you convert the left check amount into the God amount and you subtract 50 paise from that, and you get the is basically 3 times the check amount, since the left amount is basically 3 times the check amount. The first reaction to this question is that these numbers should be about 3 times this number. So if I think of the original check amount, if I think of the original check amount like this, these many rupees and these many paise, the relationship between this to this, not an exact but a rough relationship, should be into 3. Reason for that is if you do not obey into 3, for example, if you try to say that the amount was 13 rupees 35 paise on the check amount is 1335. Now given if you're going with option 1, over 13 but less than 14, the moment this is more than 13 and less than 14, 3 times this amount will have to become 39 to 42. Will have to become 39 to 42. And for that to happen, this number can't be taken as a 35, because 1335 becoming 3513, and then you are subtracting 50 paise from this, the value is not going to hit this range. Likewise, if you do a 13.22 becoming 22.13, I hope you guys understand why I'm talking about this range. So 13.22 becoming 22.13 will not, again, after spending 50 paise from that, you're not going to go into 3 times of this number. Fundamentally, the basic situation you are in is that if the original check amount is 13 to 14, the 3 times that amount will have to be between 39 to 42. It can't be below 39, it can't go above 42. And that's why the only numbers that will work here, possibly, let me clean this board. The only numbers that would work possibly for paise on the check amount would be numbers in this range. Because it can't even be 13.43, because if you invert it, 43.13, and then you subtract 50 paise, you would not get the range of the answer in this situation. Right? Your range needs to be into 3 of any number between 13 to 14, has to be 39 to 42. So with 13.43, there's a range issue. And likewise, with the 13.38, you'll also have a range issue, because if you revert it, it will become 38.13. If you reverse 13.38, it will become 38.13. And then you subtract 50 paise from this. So if you subtract 50 paise from this, this is going to be outside range. It is not coming into the range of 39 to 42. So cut a long story short, when you are thinking about 13 point something, when thinking about 13 point something, you're only thinking about 13.39, 13.40, 13.41 and 13.42. So next thing you do then in this question is you start checking at 13.39 what will happen. And in option based questions, it's very important to check one number and see the process, and try to keep your logic open to understand where the process is going to take you. So 1339 becoming 3913 That's fine. And subtracting 50 paise, and this becomes 38.63. It can be evidently seen that basically by default 13, 13, 39, 39, 13, this is outside range. But since you have done the numbers, you should also try to look for more logic so that the other numbers can be checked quicker. And if you stop a little bit here to look at the logic you will see is that apart from the fact that 1339 into 3 is not equal to 3863, apart from that fact, the bigger fact here, or a bigger view here, which perhaps you should be able to see with practice and with developing your thinking, is what I describe as the unit digit logic in this question. So what is the unit digit logic in this question? Let me explain that to you. This 38.63 came through this route. And 1339 into 3 is 40.17. That came from that route, the into 3 route. And these are not equal. Of course, they are not equal because the values are not equal, but they are also not equal because the unit digit is not matching between the two. This unit digit of 3 and this unit digit of 7 are not matching themselves, each other. And why are they not matching each other? So if you think about that, where does this 7 come from? Where is the 7 coming from? This 7, where is it coming from? It's coming from the multiplication of this 9 by 3. And where is this 3 coming from? This 3 is coming from this 3. And where is this 3 coming from? This 3 is coming from this 3. So for a number like 13.39, you could see the unit digit match right when you look at the number. Because all you have to think about is 9 threes are 7. And that is not equal to the 3 which is going to be my unit digit in the other path case. And hence 13.39 can't be the value. So if you can identify this logic, the next steps will become very easy, because if I check 13.40, this is not qualifying. I will not check this because of the fact that I am getting my remainder through two routes, my unit digit through two routes. One is that route and the other is that route. This route is the into 3 route. This route is the reversal and spend 50 paise route. So in 13.40, for instance, you can clearly see right when you look at that number that unit digit is not matching, because here the unit digit will come out 3 on this route, and 0 into 3 is going to give me 0. So that's not going to match. So 13.41 is the first number that needs to be checked here. If you invert it and then subtract 50 paise, do you get a value which is thrice that? Because in 1341 you'll have to go through all this, because there is a unit digit match. If I multiply this 1 by 3, if I multiply it by 3, I'll get 3 as the unit digit going that route, and going this route, this 3 will get carried over here and this 3 will get carried over here. So this is a feasible solution, because you can have a 1341 as a value, because unit digit wise it's possible. So, but you can't just jump to the conclusion that 1341 is the answer based on this, because this is just an elimination technique. So you'll have to check for the number 1341. If you use the into 3 for 1341, it becomes 40.23. If you go the opposite method, the other method, 1341 becomes 4113. Then you subtract 50 paise. And does it become 4023? It does not. And hence the correct answer is not 1341. 1342 is not even a unit digit match, so you don't need to look at it. This 2 multiplied by 3 should give me 6. Only if I had a 6 here would I consider this as a possibility for tripling. So that means that since 1339 to 1342 all are not working, we can remove this option. Option A is removed. So let's look at the second one. Over 7 and below 8. So is the value on the check above 7 and below 8? So again, using the into 3 corollary or structure, if it's over 7, it has to be 7.21, 7.23, 22, 7.23 and 7.24. And through that route, the into 3 route, the unit digit here will be 3, which is not going to be equal to the 7 unit digit that you have here. So it's not working on this. 7.22 unit digit match does not happen because 2 3s are 6 and 7 here. 3 3s are 9 and 7 here not working. 4 3s are 12 and 7 here not working. So if you use this, you will get, if you want to use this, you want to get another value which is rejected, 7 to 8. 22 to 23 will also reject over 22, but below 23 will also reject the values because of the unit digit logic. Remember, this 2 will give us the unit digit of the answer, and this 6 multiplied by 3 will give me the unit digit of the answer. So since the answer has to be same, the value of the unit digit through both roots should converge. So 22 to 66, when you can see that 26 into 3 is not going to give me 2. Right? So going through 2266, 2267, 2268 and 2269, going through all those numbers, you can see that into 3 does not give you a 2 on any such number, and hence this is not the answer. So the key to catch this is the logic of the two ways of getting to the answer. So 22 23 is not the answer. So we go to option D, over 18 but less than 19. Over 18 but less than 19. So 18 to 19, the digits are, the numbers to consider are 1854. Into 3 does not match the 8 required here, so no unit digit match here. 1855 into 3 does not give me an 8, so no unit digit match here. Into 18.56 here. This looks interesting because into 3 here gives me an 8 and this is an 8. So in this case, my last unit digit or the last digit in decimals will actually match. But so we need to check because something like that had happened at 13.41 also. But we need to check whether the actual values match also. So 1856 becomes 5618. Subtract 50. So through this route, we get 5568 as the value. And this is also equal to 3 times this, which you can check. 1856 into 3 is indeed 5568. And hence the correct answer here will be over 18 but less than 19. Remember, this question did not ask you the exact check amount because they gave you the exact check amount as 18.56 as one of the options. It would be very easy for you to trace that. Right? So I hope you enjoyed the session. And please do leave your comments and do like and subscribe to Unacademy Plus live channel. And talking about Unacademy Plus gives us a very strong approach to help us develop our uh, prep in such a way that that no, I mean, there's nothing left unturned for you in terms of whether it's quant teaching or data interpretation teaching. The best part of Unacademy Plus is that if you decide on the subscription model, and the subscription model is what we work on, once you take subscription of the Unacademy Plus, let's say you take subscription of the Unacademy Plus CAT version. So what will happen is that you'll get access to all the teachers and all the courses from all the teachers which they are running on the platform. So that's the best part, and you will also have access to those recordings. So do check out Unacademy Plus, and in the CAT segment, I am also there. Yours truly. My name is of course Arun Sharma, but my promo code is Arunmsharma. If you use that promo code while registering on Unacademy Plus subscription course model for whatever time, you'll get a 10% discount over and above the current existing discount offer on the site. So please do use this promo code to subscribe, and I hope to see some of you on the Academy Plus classes with me. And of course, I'll be coming back and forth on YouTube again and again. So for the time being, I'll take your leave. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Bye bye.